Subscribe to Motoroids for the most in-depth and detailed car and bike reviews. Hit that bell icon and you will be notified before everyone else. Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids.com. My name is Amit Changani. This is a new Mercedes S-Class facelift and this is the epitome of luxury. So for once I thought I'll wear a lousy jacket and try to fit in. But then I thought to myself, no matter how hard I try to fit in, I would still not have the money. And this would still be the S-Class. Everybody is still going to appreciate it for being the best car in the world. So I just removed this thing and decided that I'll be myself. So this car has been reviewed by many journalists. It is the best car in the world. So rather than doing it all over again, I'm just going to restrict this feature to what makes the S-Class the S-Class. And we are going to talk specifically about the features, the perceptible and the imperceptible things that make this car stand apart, and even with the fiercest of the competition in the world, makes it the best car in the world even today. Now I'm sure this is not the first time you have seen someone sitting like that in the back seat of a car, but it's not how it looks, it's about how it feels. And having sat in all the limousines, I can tell you that this seat feels different. The contours, the soft headrest, and just the way this whole thing feels, the feeling it gives, along with the fabulous ride quality, you are going to fall asleep within no time. And this is what has happened to me only in a few rare cars, that I've been able to sleep very peacefully in the back seat. And this has happened with me only in the S-Class and a few other cars. So in that sense, this back seat, the comfort of it and the way it feels, along with the ride quality, the quiet inside the cabin, the insulation and everything, is what makes this seat special and the S-Class special. Also, with the flick of a button, I can turn the blinds on and cut the sunlight on my face. I can make the machine memorize my preferred settings. I can have cooled seats or heated seats, all at the press of a button. And you see these controls, they look exactly like a seat, so it's really simple for you to control whatever you want to control. The brilliance of it is in its simplicity and the way it works. And this is one of the most important things that make the S-Class an S-Class. Now what really adds to the comfort on the back seat is the beautiful ride quality of this car. And no matter what someone tells you about the ride quality of some other car, the adaptive air suspension on this one is in a league of its own. The cabin insulation, the quality of the ride, the suppleness of it, and the way it actually feels is something that you would not experience anywhere else. And that's why they call it a magic carpet ride, and that's why the back seat of the S-Class is special. Now they say that an engine and a transmission is the heart of a car. And the 350D comes with an advanced engine which is BS6 compliant already, and we're going to talk about that later. But what you need to know at this point in time is that this engine is smooth as silk. The straight 6 diesel dishes out 282 HP of power and 600 Nm of stonking torque. It's mated to the 9G Tronic automatic transmission. But it's not about the individual engine or the transmission. It's how they've been meshed together, it's how they've been blended together for this car. The way that engine builds power in a very linear fashion, in a very silent fashion, without letting you know that it's even trying. You mash that pedal and the car lunges towards the horizon without even trying, and you know with the gentle push that you get into the seats that this car has a lot of power. And the way that transmission works, sure, it's not the quickest, it's not the fastest, but it's the smoothest out there, and you would not know when the car swaps its gears. And that experience by itself makes the S-Class the S-Class. That seamless, smooth transmission just lends itself very beautifully to a limo, and no other car in this segment can quite match that experience. Now the S-Class has always been a pioneer, and the new S-Class in its facelift version also brings the Distronic, which essentially is a radar-based cruise control system which can detect the distance of the vehicle ahead of you and brake or accelerate based on the distance of the vehicle ahead of you. The technology was brought to India by the S-Class Maybach only, and now it's available on the standard S-Class as well. So that's another feature that makes the S-Class unique. Now another great feature that the S-Class facelift has is that it gets level 1 automation, which means that the car can drive itself to a certain level. And that whole technology is assisted by a few technologies put together. You have the Distronic, you have the active lane keeping assist, you have the active steering, as well as cruise control and active braking system. So all of that put together can make sure that if you have lanes marked on the road, the car can keep distance from the vehicle ahead, it can control the steering, it can brake itself, it can accelerate, and that in essence means that the car to an extent drives itself. Although if you don't hold the steering, the car is going to warn you and is going to make an emergency stop if you don't hold the steering again in some time. Now 282 HP of power is a lot of power. 600 Newton meters of torque is a lot of torque, and this car gains speed in a very fast manner. It does its 0 to 100 sprint in 6 fast seconds. However, you would not come to know when this car reaches that point. What's more important is when it builds speed beyond that point, it reaches triple digit speeds and then crosses that and hits a double turn, and you would not probably be able to tell that while sitting in that back seat. And it's not just that. While sitting in that back seat, while your driver is taking corners in a very enthusiastic manner, you probably won't be able to tell a hard turn from a sweeping corner, because this car has adaptive air suspension and it tries to counter the G-forces to make you feel comfortable in that back seat. And the way it masks its speed is something which is very, very deceptive, and you would not know when you are in the dangerous territory. So the way this thing masks its speed is something that makes it very, very special. Now luxury, as they all say, is all about delighting your senses. What you see, what you hear, what you touch, what you feel, what you smell. In that sense, the S-Class enthralls all your senses. All the materials here have been very, very tastefully chosen. No materials which come in direct contact with the hand are low rent. You'll hardly ever come across plastic. Everything here is made of either leather, glass, wood, steel, or some other very high quality material, and that really, really makes a difference to the cabin. In addition, to enthrall your senses in terms of the feel of it, the seats feel comfy, you feel totally corseted. Mercedes with this one has also introduced fragrances which is going to delight your sense of smell. What you see here has been beautifully appointed. The choice of colors, the materials, the layout, the ergonomics of it, everything has been built to delight the richest of the tastes. And the way all of it comes together to define the luxury in this class is what really makes the S-Class special. The S-Class headlight bears the triple torch design which distinguishes it from the rest of the lineup. While the S-Class and the Maybach have 3 of these lines, the E-Class has 2 and the C-Class has only 1. So now you can even more clearly say which is which. Now if you're a leader and a pioneer, you have to lead by example, and Mercedes with the S-Class has done just that. Diesel particulate pollution is one of the biggest problems that our metro cities are facing these days, and in that direction Mercedes has introduced India's first BS6 compliant diesel car in the S-Class S350D, and this can run on BS4 compliant fuel. You don't need to put BS6 fuel in this, and that's a great achievement. This is accomplished through something that you see here. There's a separate tank which essentially is a urea mixture, a special urea mixture that Mercedes prefers calling AdBlue. So what it does is that it filters out all the nitrogen oxide particulates and other particulates which are dangerous for the environment when they come out of the engine, makes them go through the urea mixture, and when the air comes out of the exhaust, it's actually very, very clean. So that's another pioneering thing that sets the S-Class apart. Now those were the bigger things that set the S-Class apart, but God, as they say, lies in the details. And with the S-Class, Mercedes takes special care to take care of those small details to make it all the more special. So let's take a look at all those small details which set this special machine apart. Now with the new S-Class, the center console as well as the instrument console has been replaced fully by these 2 digital large-sized 12-inch plus screens which look fabulous. They are high definition and the animation on these is absolutely fabulous. You also get this BlackBerry-like touchpad to scroll through various different screens on the instrument console. Now there's a perfume integrated with the HVAC system to keep the interiors of the car fresh and fragrant, and it sits here. You get wireless charging as well as NFC for the driver and the co-passenger. Oh, and you can open this compartment both ways. While the S-Class is a limo, you can just press this button and raise the ride height of the car to tackle the nastiest of the broken roads. Of course, you can choose from among 4 driving modes. You get as many as 5 views for the camera, as well as a full 360-degree view to look at the surroundings while sitting in the car. In addition to the detailed command menus which are controlled through this jog dial and a press action, you can also control a lot of functions with one touch, and that includes seats, navigation, radio, media sources, telephone, vehicle settings, as well as this button which controls the headrest for the rear passengers. The doors on the Mercedes-Benz S-Class as always are never left ajar. The car pulls them in all by itself for you. You get a space saver spare and some additional space under the boot area. However, the controls for the boot are not powered and you still have to shut it manually. You can choose from as many as 64 colors for the ambient lighting, which is fantastic. You can choose from as many as 6 hot or cold body massages. You get wireless charging for the rear passengers as well. There is a small storage here which you can either use for whatever you want to store or can order it out to be fitted with a small refrigerator. For the rear 2 passengers, you can choose from ventilated as well as heated seats, although the front 2 passengers only get heated seats. The cup holders are heated so your cuppa would never get cold. These soft pillows, it's a small detail but makes a world of difference to the comfort at the back seat. You also get these high quality AKG made headphones if you want to listen to your music in private. There is also this little coat hook for you to keep your power suits crease free before that boardroom meeting. Now of course the S-Class is the best car in the world, but there is no such thing as perfection that exists. And of course the S-Class also has its own set of flaws. So this is time now for us to start nitpicking, and we'll start off with those headlamps. They are very bright, very intense, very good, but they are not technologically most advanced. That crown goes to the BMW 7 Series, which has laser lights. This one still has LEDs. That boot space is not large enough for a car this class and size. There is no power button to shut the boot. Now while the back seat is the most comfortable, you have to keep holding this button for a very long time if you want to recline it fully, and that may take a while. We wish this button was one touch, and that would really have spelled a lot of convenience. So that was that, guys. The 2018 Mercedes S-Class. This is still the best car in the world, and we tried to tell you all about why it is still the best car in the world. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to Motoroids, share it with your friends, and until next time, this is Amit Shangani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.